What's going on, fam? We're about to get it in. The Lion's Den. First time ever video, guys. We got my boy Bizzle, Caleb, Sparks, little Tim over here, your boy Giovanni. So, it's the first ever video, guys. We're going to be reviewing Joyner Lucas's song, Devil's Work, and as well a response, Bizzle's response to Devil's Work to Joyner Lucas. Fire! We've already heard both of these songs. We're just going to break them down, guys. So, let's go ahead. Let's get it in.
Let's get it in. Alright. First of all, this beat is freaking fire.
It really is.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know who produced it, but props to that man.
Yeah.
Like whoever.
I'm staring at this Bible as I keep glancing. Dear Lord, I got questions and I need answers. Trying to understand your vision, all I see is damage. Just a bunch of dead bodies in the street camping. A bunch of lost souls on their feet standing. We supposed to be your children, I thought we family. You supposed to be my father, bro, I need answers. We don't need to die young, we just need chances. Tired of living on the edge, so we keep scrambling. Trying to talk to these strippers, but they keep dancing. We just want to be number one like Steve Francis. Bow our heads, saying praying out of seas planet. Everywhere I turn, I'm seeing M's.
So, what do you know about Steve Francis? Like, do you have any...
I know he's an ex-Rockets player.
He's an ex-Rockets player?
And obviously he wore the number 1, right? So, like, from a rapping standpoint, that's one thing I did love. I mean, Joyner's fire, right? Joyner's as long as I've known that of him as an artist, he's been spitting bars.
Yeah.
But just from a rap perspective, it's a very good bar. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a sports reference, which
I feel like there's a lot of things we skipped over though in that first part.
It really is. Like, first off, of course, just referencing the Bible and everything, and how he's referencing God's children, and seeming that we're being left behind, that God has left us behind.
Yeah.
So you're already starting from the get-go, the pain, the hurt.
Yeah, right.
He's obviously lost a lot of close friends and family.
That's what I was thinking too. Like when I heard just when as a song plays through the beginning part, you're like, man, like you can feel the pain he's speaking out of. You know what I mean? And I was like, dang, bro, I feel you. Like I feel like I don't know anybody who could listen to this track, no matter where you're from, that can't relate to what he's talking about. Yeah. Even if you may not completely agree with the way he's saying it, like I think everybody can relate to this track.
Yeah, the first listen through, I would say I was one of those people. It was tough for me, you know. Like as a Christian, I'm like, I don't want to hear that, you know. Yeah. But then my second, third time through, it's like at the end of the day, we're all human. Yeah. Christian, Muslim, whatever you are, at the end of the day, you're gonna face that frustration of like, man, why is this bad stuff happening? And just the vibe that he's putting down, I've definitely felt it before myself, so I know where he's coming from.
Oh yeah,
it's good.
Seas vanish, lot of good gone, I don't understand it. Lot of families lost and they seas stranded. I ain't trying to disrespect you, I just need answers. I know you watching us from heaven, thinking who to say. Cherry picking who should go next and who should stay.
So cherry picking, man, like
that was a dope line.
It's a good line, but it gets a big misconception too that God chooses who He wants to come in to heaven and who He wants to go to hell. At the end of the day, people don't realize it's your choice. Yeah. We choose. You know, I've always referenced God as a gentleman. You know, He's not going to force you to love Him. He's going to allow you to make the decision whether you want to be with Him or not. A good reference that I always like to go throw out is Ravi Zacharias. He says, if you want to live your life apart from God, you're going to spend your eternity in that way also.
That boy's spitting truth today. That boy's spitting truth.
And I think that's a hard-hitting line. Just because, man, if you're going to live it away from God, why is He going to force you to go off and spend eternity with Him, you know? So it's your choice. It's not His. He gives you every opportunity to desire Him, want Him, learn more from Him. If you decide to knock it, then it's on you.
I think the best comparison I've heard for that is kind of like, again, He's a gentleman, right? God's a gentleman. So it's the equivalent of you go out to eat. I'm sure y'all have heard this one. You go out to eat, the bill comes, Jesus is like, hey, I'll pay for everybody at the table. You can sit back and let Jesus pay for it. Yep. Or everyone has the free option just to be like, no, I want to pay for my own meal.
Yeah. If
you want to pay for your own meal, God's going to allow that too. So
it's true.
Yeah, I think
I like that.
I like clarifying. I like comparisons. Comparisons for me always make stuff just click.
Same.
So yeah, I like sharing those because you never know, man. It might click for somebody. So
there you go.
Might. All right, let's continue.
All right, let's see.
I'd be on my way to heaven if I knew the way and bring back every good.
I'd be on the way to heaven if I knew the way.
Like, it's simple, guys. Like
I don't even know how to explain that because he said it straight up. I would go on my way to heaven if I don't know. I love lines like this because it is 100% true, 100% real, and I feel like probably the majority of the world feels like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're like,
believer, non-believer. At the end of the day, no one chooses if they're say that, you know, if I'm a non-believer and I'm like, if there is a heaven, I'd still like to go.
Yeah.
You know, no one's gonna be like, no, that sounds bad. Paradise sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Like, I could never
go to that place. Go that light.
It's again another just misconception. You know, I think here at our church there was a saying that we used to say a lot. You know, and it's an easy breakdown of what Christianity really means.
Right.
Dang it, man. Now, of course, I'm blanking.
It's all good.
It's an easy concept. He'll come back.
He'll come back.
I'll
Let's
come
keep
back.
going.
You choose to take. They say you're never wrong, but you done made a few mistakes. Cause you taking the wrong, maybe you should try.
I ain't gonna lie. When I heard
That was a tough one.
When I heard maybe you made a few mistakes,
Oh.
and he's
That was
he's
tough.
referencing saying that maybe God has made some mistakes.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. Again, I know maybe we're a little bit biased because we
True.
are Christian.
Very true. I will not deny
But a lot of times I like to put myself in the shoes of somebody who's not, because I know that you need to understand how other people are thinking, and not everybody doesn't think the way you think. And I think that
We need someone to blame.
exactly. That's a real concern. Like, you need somebody to blame for anything. You know, if
And no
somebody
one's gonna
takes a
look
loved
in
one
the
from
mirror.
you,
That's the
Yeah.
last place we want to blame is right there in the mirror.
Yeah,
Like, hey,
you know?
maybe you're doing no. It's got to be this, that, and the other. You know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the-
Oh, I remember that. God loved, God gave. We believe, we receive. It's that simple.
Yeah,
it's
it
that
should.
simple.
Yeah, it is. It's that simple.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
Trade us back all the real ones, remove the fakes. I think you should trade. Give us 2 pop back and say it shook. Let the legend resurrect and he gon' live for good. I've been screaming thug life in every different hood. If only you can bring it back, Lord, I wish you would.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. I don't really have a breakdown of this part. That's
Yeah,
just freaking
just-
raw.
It's good.
No breakdown. All music lover on the side, like the beat, the flow
goes
scheme,
hard.
like
The way that
the
came-
passion, the reference to another great hip hop legend in Tupac, and then just
the way that came together was just
that,
I was like,
that took
get
time,
it,
that took
bro.
effort, that's talent, skill, all of it. Like,
Yeah.
shout out Joyner for that one. That was
Give us Biggie, give us Pun, give us Triple X. Take that Trump with you, that's a bigger threat. There's too much power for a coward with no intellect.
Can't skip that.
Like, you know,
Can't skip that.
focusing on Trump right there, you know, just a lot of people have a lot of opinions about the president, but at the end of the day, you gotta support someone,
right.
and I
Right.
would rather I'd rather pray for him to do good to the country than to pray for him to do bad for himself and the country at the same time, because whatever he does, at the end of the day, it's gonna probably affect us.
Right.
Because again, he's running the country, you know, he has a bit of say on what's gonna happen here and there, who knows, you know, conspiracy theorists are gonna go ham on that, but
Yep.
that's neither here or there. At the end of the day, I want him to succeed for the betterment of the country.
Yeah, that's true. Well, one thing I got from that part is like, just kind of going past the whole Trump thing was like, just the fact that power doesn't make a man.
Yeah.
Is kind of what I got from that. He was saying, a person with no intellect in leadership. You know what I mean? It's just like you can put anybody in leadership. You can give somebody a role. What doesn't make them a leader?
Right.
And I don't know. That's what I got. 'Cause obviously, I got the Trump reference as well.
Right,
but
right.
I just looking a little bit more deeper into that. I'm like, that could be wider. Like he's using Trump as a reference for basically every leader who's doing
Right.
wrong, who's not doing a
Right.
good job. Maybe I'm not saying he's not doing a good job. I'm just saying that every leader out there who may
not be qualified. You know,
Exactly.
Joyner's saying like, how does he qualify
But one
for the
thing
position? God, like
from there is that even though you may be put in a position of leadership and you may not be qualified or feel that you're qualified, God does
Exactly.
qualify
Exactly.
you. He will get you where you need to be.
Yes,
Anyway,
yes.
let's go.
It's a bigger with a collar, there's a disconnect. Dying, mama crying, grandma need a tissue. Shooting up a church, now I need a. All them
I ain't got nothing to say about that. So I'm gonna pause. That's real though, cause somebody shot up a church.
multiple churches.
churches.
Multiple churches. I don't know any real religion where you go study the basis of that religion and it's telling you to kill people. Like I just don't. What creator of all humankind would be like, I like these but not these? You know, he created us all. I don't. So that's a whole another video in itself, probably right there. Like,
Yeah,
ooh,
man.
like,
still living, you don't see the issue. But how you take a leader, then you take a leader with you. I ain't tryna disrespect, just need a meter with you. I ain't tryna overstep, just want a razor with you. I need you to give us back Martin Luther. Take Martin Shkreli, give us back Malcolm. Take R. Kelly, R.I.P. Lil Snoop, get that boy's life back. Take Eric Holder, give us Eric right back. I'm sending you this message, Lord, I hope you hit me right back. They say I'm on the wrong train, I know I'm on the right track. Cause Trayvon Gordon only did was try to fight back. Why you take our mothers from us?
thing that all this is just circling around death.
I didn't want to say too much about it because the next track is gonna go more
Yeah.
into like this whole section.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not gonna say much right now.
It's just like I don't know about y'all, but I've always had a different perspective of death. Ever since I found God, knew Christ, and what it actually means, I don't fear it. I don't dread it.
Same.
I don't desire it, but it's not. It's there.
It's not
gonna
daunting
happen.
anymore. It's not
You
like
know?
looming behind you. Like, hey, time's ticking. You're like, okay, cool, time's ticking. Like, and we're all gonna die eventually. Like,
It's just leading to something greater for me, and Bizzle's about to go into it. But to me, I've never had that of like I've ever whenever I die, my idea of funeral is to have a party, enjoy my life, because I lived a great life here, but man, I'm going to have a whole lot more fun up there, just worshiping with my God.
that's true.
And
Sure.
it's just gonna be a whole lot. And just knowing that there's gonna be no more sorrow, no more pain, nothing but joy. I mean, why can't you not? Why don't you not?
One thing I noticed so far, like as a theme in this song, is he keeps mentioning, I'm not trying to overstep.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to disrespect. I'm just confused. These are just my questions. And like I think the first listen through, I didn't hear that as much. I didn't hear that theme as much because I was being a little offended, obviously.
He's one of them.
Yeah, I fight it though. But yeah, it's just hearing it now. I'm like, it's a respect thing. He's still kind of putting God in his place. Like, hey, I know. Let me just vent to you, God. And I think, especially as Christians, we've all been there.
I'll say this though, and this is for everybody, whether you're Christian or not. I believe, like a lot of people, like he said, you don't want to overstep your boundary, but God is like a friend. You know what I mean? Like you can do that. Like you can sit there. I'm not saying you should like go question everything he's about, but like he's there to listen to you. He's there to answer your call. You know what I mean? So like just like you would go to a friend and complain about a bunch of stuff that you don't like.
That's what God wants you to do.
You can. I mean, I'm not saying you should just complain, but you know what I mean. But you can vent. Like what he's doing right now, I feel like he's not in the wrong at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I don't. When I heard it, like I mean, I put myself in his position and also related to him because everybody's lost somebody before. Everybody's gone through something. I just was really feeling his pain. I was like, yo, like he's just really like crying out to God right now. Like, yo, like what the heck is going on in my freaking life? You know what I mean? You ever feel like that? You're just like, what the heck is going on? You're just freaking pissed off at the world, and you like talking to God for answers. That's what he's doing right now. And through this whole section of him, like, oh, this and that. So I don't know. I just feel like don't be ashamed to do that. I mean, I'm talking to anybody who is not like a Christian. Maybe they're not in the world. Maybe they are Christian. They're just not, kind of back and forth. Like, just don't be ashamed to just go and like, God, like, what the heck is going on? And if you're cussing,
it happens.
That may be your language right now.
You know what
I mean? That may be the way you talk.
You are.
But as the same way, God still hears you. And anyway, I just won't want to discourage anybody from like talking to Him.
I agree.
Even if you don't know what to say, you may sound like this.
Tell the truth, I've been in my feelings too. But if you took Emmett Till, at least take Dylan Roof and give us Michael Jackson back. Feds want me, and then slam it down. Ain't no justice for Sandra Bland, we up like a ceiling fan. Lord, if you listen, I'm just looking for a hand in hand. Take out the to give us back our fam again. Wonder why you give us life for you to take it from us. Wonder why you give us family then erase it from us. Maybe hopefully you can have a conversation with us. Maybe I'm just probably tripping cause I need a hug. I don't go to church cause I'm afraid of being judged. I've been staring at the ceiling as I lie in bed.
Yeah,
watch it trans like Simon says.
That has to be a pause moment. We all.
I was like, you guys are pause. You want to say something? What you guys got to say?
I think Pastor Timothy Keller said something that was really good about this. I thought it was funny. He's was talking to someone and he said that this gentleman, wasn't a supposed Christian. He said he never went to church because there's nothing but hypocrites there. And he's like, yeah, come on down. There's plenty of us over here, because we're all hypocrites. At the end of the day, no one can lead a perfect life. And my favorite verse in the Bible is John 8:7, and I think it sums up Christianity perfectly. Jesus is surrounded by all these the Pharisees and everything, and they're about to stone this woman because she was caught in the act of adultery. And they're always trying to catch Jesus by trying to make him seem, like, oh, he's not the Messiah. So let's see how he answers this. The law says to stone this woman because she was caught in the act of adultery. What do you say, Jesus? And he gets up because he was on the ground writing stuff on the ground. And he says, well, he who is without sin cast the first stone.
And no one could throw a rock after that.
Like, I mean, it was a perfect line. So then everyone leaves, and he asked the woman, where are your accusers?
But Jesus had bars.
Yeah, really did. Like, he goes hard.
He had them one-liners.
He really
He really did. And so whenever he's talking to the woman, he asks her, hey, where did your accusers go? And she's like, there are none. Nor do I accuse you. Now go sin no more. Not sin no more so I do not accuse you. I don't accuse you. Be joyful. Don't sin no more. Just be so happy that you're not going to be accused, that you're not going to be judged by your past life. Just live a wonderful life. After that, I think that's so powerful, and it's one of the biggest misconceptions. Yeah, there's a lot of people that judge in the church, but at the end of the day, there are misguided too. You're not going to find one place
there's
that's
judgmental
perfect.
people everywhere. I can go to Starbucks right now, and someone's not going to like the shoes I got on or something and give me a mean look from across the Starbucks. It's just human nature. But
So
yeah.
you put cream in your coffee?
Yeah, like, what are you doing? Who drinks black coffee? I'm like, hey, I'm saying I'm trying to wake up. But no, I think there are a lot of people who have a bad experience with the church or with Christianity, and then that's what all Christians are to them now.
Yep.
You know, and there's people who do everything right and wrong. You know, there's good cops, there's bad cops. There's good Christians, there's bad Christians. It's no matter what you're doing, someone's going to do it right, someone's going to be doing it bad. And if you only focus on the bad, it's going to ruin the whole picture for you. You're going to be like, I don't want nothing to do with none of that.
Yep.
But yeah.
I think what's really bad is that media always focuses on the negative because it gets more views. You know, stuff like this, it doesn't get that many views because it's too positive. You know,
Yeah.
people love to see other people hurt. Why? Because they're hurt themselves.
Misery loves company.
You know,
Misery loves
and they
company.
don't want to be alone. They want to see that someone else is suffering through, so they expound upon all the negativity. Where it's like one or two people that are being negative, and there's like 100 that are being positive, but those two people are so loud that no one else has ever heard. It's really bad. That's one thing that's bad.
Gotta
about
focus
the
on the good.
Agreed.
Gotta focus on the good.
All right, let's keep it going. We still
Let's
got
back
another
the
song.
real ones and try again. Or maybe take the that deserve to die instead. Tommy Lauren run her mouth and then she get defensive. Laura Ingram laughing at death and disrespecting. I really feel like you should teach them stupid a lesson. Either that or give us back somebody who deserved the blessings. I left out a bunch of names that I forgot to mention. Father, forgive me for I know not what I do, and now I'm reaching out to you, hoping you hear me and return the message. I know that you got our back and that you're not against us. Or maybe you just love it so you detest us. I just kinda thought that you would do more to protect us. They say the good die young and I ain't on the guest list. I've been drinking, Lord, forgive me as my blood racing. I don't know what I'm thinking, I'm just frustrated. I don't mean to question you, I'm just confused. I don't know what else to do, I've been patient and it sucks waiting. Took my mans from me, that forever hurts. But putting the blame on you, that'll never work. I know this ain't your fault, it's the devil's work. Devil's work.
Man, hold up.
And he brings it all together.
Yeah, the way he
Yeah,
ended it, like even the first time I was listening through and I was, battling being offended and all that selfish nonsense. But even then, when he dropped that last line, it's like it all switched.
It did.
It all switched in my head. I was like, well, he's not as confused as he thinks he is. At least he is putting it in its proper place. You know.
When you look at it, a lot of Christian hip hop is just like this song. When a lot of it starts out, especially a lot of the great, as far as I noticed,
True.
it starts out as looking at it through the secular world's eyes, and just accusing and going through all these different, thought process, and then coming at the end and realizing, because at the beginning he said, God, I think you messed up. And then he finishes with I really don't think.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I know it's the devil's.
I know it's the devil's work. And so a lot of Christian hip hop is just like that song, just without the swear, So
I'm just excited to get the Bizzles.
Yeah.
I know Joyner killed it. I'm not discrediting that whatsoever. But one thing to point out, another theme in Joyner's would be that he was constantly telling God, "Hey, I just want a response. Hey God, just talk back to me. I'm reaching out to you." And we know. So yeah, we're gonna dive into it.
Alright, man. So really, Joyner Lucas, he really did kill that track. A lot of pain, a lot of hurt. Definitely, it was a very passionate song. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna put on Bizzle's response to Devil's Work, and man,
I'm excited.
let's go ahead.
Let's break it down.
You ain't wasting time.
Joyner, I hear you going through some things and it's getting tough, but I see you got my word with you. It's a shame how the pain only thing make you pick it up.
I just want to make sure that people understand he is speaking as God to Joyner.
Yeah,
he's not speaking as Bizzle to Joyner.
Because he just said, "I see that you have my word with you," as in like he's.
I also kind of hear
point
it
of view of God.
as both. We haven't gotten that far yet, but I think this section, is like he's speaking as God
True.
to Joyner. But this next part is about to come up. He switches to Bizzle talking to Joyner, and then back to God.
I do feel like he goes back and well, let's get into it.
You complain when it rains just once, but I never hear thanks for that 100 days with the sun. Could've ran to me first, ran to the drink first, and now I gotta have this conversation with you when you drunk. See, before I even start addressing it, I don't owe you any answers, so don't get used to it. But I feel like you being genuine. But the truth is you can't handle the truth, Lucas. But you kept it a buck and I love that. If I kept it a buck back, could you take what you stepping in? I know it's other folk that feel like you, so first thing I'ma do is let you know who you questioning.
So to just break down what he said there, man, I complain whenever one day rains, but I give you 100 of sunshine,
Never get a thanks.
Never get a thing.
Never
Bro,
get a thing,
oh
bro.
my gosh. That's so true.
Honestly, if you really look at not just Joyner alone, but a lot of these secular, if you will, hip-hop artists that do have a tie to God some way, they mention God, they say something about God, rarely do they ever produce a song thanking God, worshiping God, anything like that. I know they're obviously not in the Christian hip-hop scene, so it'd be kind of weird for them, but they will come out with these songs quite often where they're asking God questions. They're talking about the things going on in the world and how God needs to help us. But yeah, rarely do they have 100 days in the sun. They have these beautiful cars and homes, all these things that they're blessed with. And they never make a song thanking God. Until Bizzle said that, I never really even thought about it.
I feel like
that.
I actually kind of halfway disagree with you because I feel like at least the artists, the regular hip-hop artists that I listen to, a lot of times I do hear these kind of songs. They're like asking God for answers or blaming God, but I also hear where like every once in a while they'll sprinkle in a little bit like saying thank God for this, whatever, or thank God my grandma was praying for me. Just different things like that. Like they're kind of like, and I'm not honestly surprised to hear some of these artists like reference God. I'm like, I didn't know you were. I didn't know you was there. I ain't know that you. You know what I mean? So like when it comes, you're like, oh snap, okay. But like at the same time, sometimes they're not always living the lifestyle. So you may not, it doesn't give off as like, oh yeah, they believe in God, they're Christian, they whatever. But a lot of them they do reference them. It's just my opinion, just some of the artists. But that's I think a majority though.
Well, I would say I may have heard a few lines, and you may know some songs I don't know, but I've heard a few lines where they'll thank God. But I just mean rarely do they dedicate an entire.
That is true.
3-4 minutes just to like thank God for this, thank God for this. You know what? I woke up today. I got
why?
a fresh cut and the bills are paid. Type
you know why? It doesn't sell.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Drops mic. Drops mic. It doesn't sell.
It doesn't sell.
So then, wait. One quick question. If they don't make that song, yet they believe in God because it doesn't sell, who would be their real God? God or money?
It's funny, man. More often than not.
I like that.
Fame, fortune.
It's just a question, but it's like a stick in the tire type question. You're like, oh.
Are you taking stick out?
You questioning. I am the God who created the earth. I knew you start feeling yourself, so I made you from dirt. Ain't no battery in your body, so who making it work? I made the earth perfect, it's y'all making it worse.
Ain't no battery in your body. So who
making it work?
Oh. I made the world perfect. You making it work.
It's y'all that making it work.
Oh my god.
Just already so far, I love what Bizzle's doing as far as... I know, I think I said this to you before, but hip-hop loves beef.
It does.
Right? As soon as this track said a response to Joyner Lucas, the hip-hop community is going to want to jump on that and then pit these two artists against each other.
Yeah.
But so far, I don't feel that at all. Anything that Bizzle said so far, I just feel like he's just setting the record straight. He's just getting it straight. He's like, let me remind you who I am as a god. So just... Beautiful. It's magnificent, man.
I also like the tone that he did it in.
Yeah.
He does it in like a tough love kind of tone. Like he's kind of like coming back, like roughing him up a little bit. Like, hey, let me just set some things straight really quick for you, just like you just said.
Yeah.
But that's kind of I like the tone that he came back with.
Yeah,
big bro on him. Yeah, perfect.
Not in a bad way, but like big bro, how you show your little bro love, and sometimes you're tough. Yeah, I got you.
That was...
Yeah, it's just Bizzle.
Alright, on to the next couple bars.
Put the seed in the fruit, put the fruit in the tree, and that tree in another little seed but me. Then turn around and made you the same way after that. But you was in your daddy's sack and his daddy's sack.
That was a hard lie, man.
It's just the
you your daddy's sack. Like,
It's the comparison too. He's like, who put the fruit in the seed,
and then
the seed in the fruit, and then a fruit in another little seed but me. Like I did that. That's how I created fruit, right? And then turn around and made you the same way. And I'm like, just
I like the part at the end of that where he says, you know, it turns into a tree, and he put the tree back into a seed.
Yes.
I was like, I mean, because the trees are massive.
Yeah.
You put that, you know what I mean? Like, that's just the kind of thing that only God can do.
Yeah.
And then again with the sack and then your daddy sack.
Yeah.
Like,
That was
that is a
solid.
Bizzle line.
like
That is a Bizzle line if I don't know if any other
Bizzle
line.
was hard.
Like, if you listen to a lot of Bizzle, you know that was like such a...
especially for anyone watching who doesn't really know much about Christian hip hop or know who Bizzle is at all. Like, Bizzle has been doing this for some years now. He's an OG of Christian. He was in it when how we were talking about Christian hip hop wasn't super great. He was in it in that era, and has adapted ever since with these other artists. So he's.
I mean, he has a response against Jay-Z. I forget which song it is exactly, but
I might have to go into that. Maybe
we might have to do
it's
that.
An old one.
Yeah, it's an older one, but it's
a good one.
I know people haven't heard it because it's
we
Bizzle.
might bring it back. All right, y'all ready?
let's do it.
Let's get it.
I am the one that put breath in your lungs and created the same mind that you question me from. You were lost, I'm the way, I'm the potter, you the clay, and now the clay got something to say.
Oh,
Now the clay got something to say.
I'm stuck on I created the same mind that you question me from.
Oh,
like,
my
where this the
God.
place you're drawing these questions from? First of all, who gave you the brain, the mind to think that? I did. So let's not forget that. And you're like, just this far in the song, he's already laid down so much to where you're just like, oh, okay, all right, I understand your position, and I don't even really need an answer anymore,
I'm
God.
the potter, you're the clay. Now the clay got something to say. Bro, man, that's just... Oh, my God. Bars.
Okay, you can never check me, so check this. Your standard for right and wrong is me. I am the checklist, I am right. Wrong is whatever you're left with. I am life, you without me is what death is.
Wrong is whatever you're left with.
Yeah.
So
Oh
anything
my God.
outside of him
Is wrong.
is wrong.
Gosh.
That's a big statement.
That is
That's
a
a
huge
very
statement.
big statement. Like,
That is
I
a
am live.
convicting statement right there.
Everything
Yeah.
else is death, man. That's insane. It's hard, man. It's just... There's so much truth in that one line, and... Oh, my gosh.
it's just such a good response, like to everything Joyner just said that we just heard. It's just a perfect response. It's not. I don't even know how to put it into words, honestly. Bizzle did his thing so far, man.
He did. He said it perfectly.
I am the judge, you answer me. If I throw lightning, who throws it back at me? But if all this falls, who can stand but me? You go to the cross, then you cross-examine me. You say I made mistakes, you mistaken me. You made gods out of men who were clay to me. You put lives over lives that you ain't create. Then fill away, cause all flesh the same to me.
You put lives over lives that you ain't create. I feel like I've listened to that line in particular a few times over, and I feel like we all do that as humans.
Yeah.
Believer, non-believer, everybody. Like, there are just certain people we draw to. Everybody likes that person.
Yeah.
They're deemed just good, cool people, if you will.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's like categories to people. And we put lives over lives, and we didn't even create these lives to begin with. And it's like, and then we feel some type of way when someone close to us or someone we like passes. But if it was someone we didn't care about, or, you know, someone we didn't really see as a friend or whatever it may be, then we're like, oh, yeah, that's sad.
Yeah.
But it's like,
But if somebody you don't care about, like, you know,
Yeah.
if you want to go through the extreme, somebody on the overseas that ain't done nothing good, or at least we ain't heard nothing good on the news,
right.
and they go down, you know, you're like, oh, you know, whatever.
Yeah, sometimes we actually rejoice for people passing on, you know, and it's like, that's not really our position to do at all, you know. We didn't create that life, we didn't create any life, so we just kind of, we gotta
That's a
realize
good question. Is like, well, how much impact did you have in their life so that it wouldn't be down that road? You're over here boasting how good of a life you're living and how great you are, and yet you're chastising every other person when really you should be lifting them up and trying to bring them away from that life. You know, it's a completely opposite mindset of, you know, oh, yeah, screw that person because all the bad they do. Well, why don't you try to lead them away from it?
It's true.
You don't.
Same energy that they put to the bad stuff, they could put to the good stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, if that person was your brother, you would make that attempt to get them out of that bad spot.
Yeah.
But if it's just a bad person you don't know, you're like, oh, well, they're just a bad person. Let's give up. Let's stop right there. And it's like, what if we took that same mentality of trying to help a brother, like a blood brother, and just did that with random strangers?
Yeah.
It's not always easy, obviously. You know, some people don't want to be helped.
That's true.
But at the end of the day, like, we can't categorize people like that. Like, this person's life is worth a little bit more. He's the president. He's a janitor. So his life's worth a little bit more. Like, it depends who you're speaking to. If you're
Yeah.
speaking to God, obviously, all flesh is the same to Him.
Yeah.
The one thing, the last thing I'll say about that too, before we continue, is I like the way somebody explained it to me one time. They said that God has a different perspective, as if right now we see people from this angle, like straight flat, like the horizon is here, and so we see this person up here, this person up here, this person down here, this blah blah blah. Same way we see struggles and issues, the same kind of like perspective like that. But God, He sees it from a move that down like a above, like an aerial view. So if you're looking at a city of like downtown LA, Houston, wherever, you're looking down, you don't know what building is higher than the other building. They all look the same from up there. That's the way God sees it. So everybody, just like He said in the song, exactly, it's level playing field. So the way He said in the song was like, yeah, like they're all the same.
All flesh is the same to me. I like that comparison though. I never heard that.
That helped me like understand.
Yeah, that's one way I understood it too.
Yeah.
What if some of the people you naming to me wasn't really everything that you made them to be? Or worse, what if they are and I take them with me? Are you telling me it's any better place they could be?
Oh my gosh, like for real.
I was waiting on this line. I'm sorry, I was waiting on it. Like we all heard in Joyner's version, he named countless people he would love back. Right?
And countless people he want to get rid of.
Yes. He wants to ditch some, switch him out for Tupac, Michael Jackson.
Some.
Whew. And so for him to put it that way, like first of all, what if the people you're naming to me aren't great like you make them to be? I don't know everything about y'all. We're close friends.
Yeah.
So those people that Joyner may not even met some of them personally. They could have been really bad people behind the scenes. We don't know that. But God, what if they weren't as great as you made them?
That was a pretty strong line.
And then even stronger than that, well, what if they are? What's even better than me taking them with me? Being up there with God.
Are you telling me
I said,
any better place they could be?
Like I said when I was talking about earlier, why I don't mind death is because I know there's some place greater for me to be. And why would you want to take someone away from that? It's such a hard line. Man.
One thing I will give Joyner though, and this is just me loving rap as a whole.
Yeah.
Lil Snoop was a great rapper, and he died really young. Like that one hurt my heart. So that I felt him on that line, but at the same time, it's like if Lil Snoop is now with God. Well, what a great that's better than being here where he was. Like,
true.
Yes, things were looking good for Lil Snoop. He was about to make money. He was about to be a big rapper. He was about to blow up.
Yeah.
And that would have been great. But all this is still temporary. Even if he'd have lived a great 45 years here, and then went with God, it's like he can be with God now. We're still here.
Yeah, that's true.
So that line was very, very deep. Very, very deep line there, Bizzle.
Either way, you don't know, you just gotta push through. Cause while you over here saying what I should do, somebody lost somebody last week and came at me the same way, saying I should've took you. You asked why the good die young, but the truth is none of y'all are good, not one. The only one ever been good's my son. So to answer your question, the good died once. What if I told you
the good died once?
So to answer your question, again, in responding to his request for a response in Joyner's version. I don't know, man.
And again, like we just earlier, you're naming all these people you want to get rid of. What about the people that are naming they want to get rid of you? Man, that's just like, how many people have you harmed and done wrong? How many people want you to be gone out of this world?
Right.
And you want to do the same thing to others?
They might want to trade you for some artist they used to like that they thought was really great. It's a never-ending cycle of that.
That's true.
Because again, it ties back into they're prioritizing lives. They're like, well, my cousin's life is worth more than Joyner Lucas's, and my cousin died, God, so just get rid of Joyner. And it's like, it's kind of letting Joyner know, again, from God's perspective, that's what Bizzle's doing, is you're not the only one who feels this way. I understand that you feel this way, and I'm gonna, let you know how I feel about it, but you're not the only one who feels this way. Don't ever feel that way.
The main thing for me is just the good die once, and it's like, just in case anybody, I mean, we all know, but just in case anybody missed it, he was talking about Jesus.
Yes.
But I was like, wow, because he's the only one who could be considered.
He's like, none of y'all are good, not one. The only one that's ever been good is my son. So to answer your question, good died once. I'm like, even as a believer, like that hits us.
It does.
He's piercing everyone's heart right now.
I just remember how I went. And just to explain out.
Alright then, guys.
Okay, now I'm ready. I wasn't in position.
What's going on, fam? About to get it in.
Again, I'm sorry. I was like doing this. I was trying to get back over here. I was like, It was definitely going to be right in the beginning of the video. Okay, let's go.
That's hard. The chair. It's like impossible in a chair, bro. It's impossible.
It's not impossible.
It's
not in this kind of chair. It's definitely possible. Okay, anyways.
rocking chair.
Rocking chair. All right. Positions, places, cameras, lights, audio. 3, 2.
Good's my son, so to answer your question, the good died once. Jesus. What if I told you to choose when your mom died? You think you could choose when your mom died? If you put it off 20 years away, 20 years later when that day came, would you not cry? You couldn't.
Did you want to say anything about that?
Man, that's just...
That's real. He said, if you could choose when your mom dies.
And then you put it off for 20 years.
You still didn't cry.
Yeah, then it happened. Would it be a good thing then? Could you choose if you were getting in God's shoes, could you choose a time that'd be a good time for your mom to die? And I don't know anyone who's going to answer yes to that. If you do, you're kind of sadistic. I'm sorry. you enjoy pain. But
it's like, I give her 20 years.
Like, it's just crazy. Like, and it's super true. Like, what would you do? You as humans, we got to remember our place. Like, we are not God. Mm-hmm. And if you do believe in God or a God of any sort, it's like, you got to remember you're believing in an all-powerful being. Yeah. That's way above how we think, act, talk, everything. So it's like, I wouldn't want to choose that.
I mean, if we could comprehend that type of God, he wouldn't be a God to worship.
Right. It wouldn't be a God. He'd just be another human. If you could fully comprehend him, he'd probably be another human.
Facts.
Be God, you are not I. My ways are not yours. Your thoughts are not mine. You can't even deal with the pressure of your own life when you're not high. Try looking in the God. See.
Can't even deal with the pressure of your own life when you're not high. Oh my God.
Try looking in the God's mind. Like we can't handle the pressure of like bills and stress here, or like losing a loved one. You know, can you imagine being responsible for everything? All that's going on. Like,
it's hard, man.
I don't want that kind of responsibility.
No.
Y'all can have it. I don't want to be God.
I love them more than you ever did, more than you ever could. Death doesn't lessen it. Let my own son meet death as the evidence. And I love them all, rap star to the president.
Let my own son meet death as the evidence. Eesh. Like, death doesn't change God's love for us. It has no power. Let his own son be... Oh, goodness. Bizzle, why'd he have to do us like this?
Man.
The real question is, what you living like? If I punish every sin, would you live tonight? So how you get mad when I get them other folks same chances I give you to get it right?
I gotta say,
there we go.
When I heard this for the first time, I was like, you know how like your mind is a little bit ahead of you, you know what I mean? When he said, when I give them other folks, like I thought he was gonna say something else. When I get the motherfucker, you know what I mean? I was like, what?
Oh, it didn't sound like other folks. It sounded like mother.
Yeah, like, the way he said, I give them mother.
I got you.
I was like, I mean, again, like I was hearing it. Yeah. But like, and you know, your mind kind of just, I don't know.
It's kind of like when Andy Mineo said 2 forks high, raise the stakes, and you're like, what did he say right there? Like, whoa, you had to run it back. I think Zonti does it too. You're so focused on your balance like you're a flamingo. And when he said focus with so much emphasis, I was like, you're.
Dan does it a lot. Dan. Man, when him and they're both on the same record label, man, he does it all the time. I'm like, bro, I had to go look up his lyrics like multiple times. I was like, did you really?
You ever think they do it on purpose?
Yeah.
I was gonna say because I think KB does it sometimes too. Like when he's like, I hear the Snickers in the stands. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like the first time I heard it, I was like, this is Christian hip hop, sir. We don't.
I hear the Snickers in the stands.
Like, but then he says these rappers say hungry satisfies, and I'm like, oh, hunger satisfies Snickers. They're snickering in the stands, like laughing.
And he
makes
it make sense.
But
and I'm like,
but
it was definitely on purpose.
Okay, come on, KB.
We know, KB.
You got a son that one day will be a man. You expect him to trust you and he don't understand or even know what you up to. Cause he knows that you love him, right? So trust that I love you.
Man, it's just...
I love it.
Last thoughts. What you guys think?
I just want to say, at the very end, he points at the fact that it is tough love. He's like, you know, he sums it all. I love that he made the last word, I love you.
Yeah.
Because it puts emphasis on this is not a beef. Mm-hmm. Again, just trust. And he's still speaking from the point of view of God.
Yeah.
But as a lover of comparisons, I love that he compares it to Joyner, obviously as a son. I have a son, so I kind of get the comparison now. But he's saying that like your son's got to look up to you and just trust you. He doesn't know what you're doing. He doesn't know why you're doing it. You're just his dad. He trusts you and knows that you love him.
Yeah.
So know that I feel the same way and we have the same relationship. I'm like,
That's real.
but yeah, final thoughts. Joyner killed it, expressed his pain and his hurt. Bizzle destroyed it. I know I'm a tad biased, obviously, because I'm Christian, whatever. But
we have a theory that like he did
destroyed
this in
it.
the spirit, man.
Oh,
Like,
and this man was anointed.
Yeah,
like going a little bit deeper into you got to kind of know Christianity a little bit to know what we're talking about, give or take. But he was very anointed. That the Spirit of God like was in this man when he wrote this song.
Exactly.
Like the reason it was so truthful is because it was from somewhere. But yeah, I just think Bizzle did his thing. He did it with love and he approached it as more of a setting the record straight, like we said, and not a beef. And Joyner did a great job expressing his pain and also calling out the devil. I appreciate that. But yeah, that's my overall review of it, if you will.
I'll say for me, a short little just last thoughts is I personally really like songs like these where you are speaking out of your pain. Like you can tell as Joyner's going through things, he was writing this song. He was in, you know what I mean? So like he was just basically allowing his pain to just put down on paper or Apple phone, whatever he uses to write or whatever. Like I like those kind of tracks because you learn a lot from those kind of tracks. Like because when people are in pain, they have a different perspective on things, you know, on life, and I like the way he came at that. And then with Bizzle, I don't have much to say because me listening to the Joyner's track the first time and knowing that there was a response and not hearing it yet, I was like, what would I say to him? You know what I mean? I was like if he was my friend, how would I respond to him? And I was like, I don't have words, at least not right now. And when I heard Bizzle, like, man, that's just perfect. That's why I agree with you when you say like it was definitely anointed. Like God was definitely. I mean, obviously, I believe that God's always writing his lyrics.
Right.
But it was definitely this song specifically was definitely God, not Bizzle responding to Joyner. It was God using Bizzle to speak to Joyner.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
So that's my thoughts.
So when I first listened to this, what put me onto it was Track Stars. I just saw for whatever reason, Joyner and Bizzle response Track Stars, and I like listening to them a lot. So I was like, all right, put it on. And one thing that they put into perspective is Bizzle spoke as God coming from the story of Job. Whenever you look at the story of Job, you know, for those who don't know, Job had everything: wealth, family. His name meant something, you know, in his area of reference. You know, he had a sense of power just by his own name. And the devil went up to God and basically made a bet with God at the end of the day. Just like, look, this dude over here, he's praising you all the time, but look at all the good things you give him. Of course he's praising you. So time after time, God's like, all right, fine, well, you know, go ahead, do what you want to do. He takes away his family, takes away his wealth, his land. Everything that he owns is gone, you know, and throughout most of the time he is, you know, maintaining faith. But as a lot of his friends come along, they're like, look, man, why are you still praising God? Look at what he's doing to you, you know? Look at what's going on. And it starts to weigh on him until a few people start actually talking to him. And God comes into the picture and he's like, man, who do you think you are? Like, do you not remember what I created?
Word.
What I have done for you?
True.
Those blessings came from me. And now you're chastising me because they're gone? Where do you think they came from? So he came as a very tough love kind of individual. And if you go back and to read the book of Job, I had to go back and read Job, and I was like, man, God wasn't like, I'm sorry, my son, you know, you remain faithful. I'll go ahead and I'll give you back. I'm like, what's your problem?
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? Who are you talking to? You not know who I am?
He had to set the record straight.
You know, he had to set the record straight. And then after that, after Job realized what he was thinking, you know, he everything came back to him, you know, family and everything, you know, had twice as much as he had prior, you know.
Right.
Just, you got to maintain the faith. It takes walking through those struggles in order for you to grow. At the end of the day, it's all a challenge. I see everything as a test and a challenge, you know. God already knows you can do it. I think you just need to prove it to yourself. You know, he knows that you're capable as long as you rely on him and rely on his strength, his wisdom, his power. It's possible. You just got to put yourself through it. It's just allowing yourself to grow, man. And Bizzle, yes, at the end of the day, he just, it was perfect. It was a perfect response. You know, it wasn't lovey-dovey. It was that tough love that you gotta hear.
Yep.
And it's through that you're able to grow.
I hope Joyner hears it.
I'm pretty sure he already heard it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm
he
pretty
already
sure he already heard it, but I hope if he hasn't, I hope he hears it. Like,
He did.
just to get that in him.
Yeah.
Even if he at first is mad at it, whatever, maybe the response, but I want him to hear it for sure.
Sure. Well, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in. There's gonna be a lot more videos coming up, so just stay tuned. Again, Tim Sparks, Sizzle Caleb,
Hello.
your boy Giovanni. We'll get it in next time. Catch you later. Peace.
Lions Den. Out of here.